touched on them a little bit, but I was wondering if you could speak about unmet needs for glaucoma.
There are a number of unmet needs, and some of that depends where you are in the world. There are places in the world where there's one ophthalmologist per million people, as opposed to, say, one ophthalmologist to 20,000 people, or actually maybe even less than that we have in the U.S. So the placement of care in certain parts of, say, Africa and Asia, you could say that's an unmet need. We need more ophthalmologists and more ophthalmic technicians and technologists in places where you don't have them. And a lot of that is related to poverty and rural poverty especially. Another unmet need is that when we treat a disease like glaucoma with medications, and we have reasonable medications to lower the pressure in the eye, and the pressure is one of the big factors that damages the optic nerve, so you lower the pressure. But how do you do that? You hand the patient a bottle with a drug in it, an eye drop, and you tell the patient to put a drop in their eye once or twice a day, depending on the drug that you're using. And you're assuming that the patient is going to be a reliable part of the delivery system. You're viewing the patient as a machine. You know, you hit a switch. The switch is, I told you what to do, and I wrote your prescription for the bottle. And of course, that means that it's going to happen just the way you envision it. It doesn't work that way. People, especially if you're talking about older people, people with maybe some tremor in their hands, people who are taking 20 other medications for other conditions, trying to have them remember to put the drop in at a certain time each day, to get it in the eye and not on the cheek, and not to put in 5 drops because they're not sure they got it in the eye and they really want to make sure. So instead of putting a drop from the bottle, they kind of try to squirt from the bottle. I mean, you can see the potential for, I won't say disaster, but the potential for misdosing, lack of dosing, overdosing. So my goal, and the goal of many other people here, is to take the patient out of the delivery system, not make the patient part of the delivery system. And there are multiple ways to try to do that. One are devices that may be placed in the eye and the fornix, still outside the eye, but on the surface of the eye. Others inside the eye that will deliver a drug for a period of years, and then biodegrade, so it leaves nothing behind, and then you can put in another one. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to reprogram the tissue inside the eye to make more or less of something that gives you the physiological effect that you want, and that's your gene therapy, where you're actually putting in a gene into the appropriate cells, and the cell will now incorporate this gene into its own genome, and it will start functioning at a high level or a low level, depending on whether you're upregulating or downregulating something. And it will give you the physiological effect that you want. So that's a whole, it's different than creating a hybrid organism. You're not re-engineering the whole person, you're only re-engineering that local tissue. And so how do you do that? Well, the way we do that, most prevalent way that we do that, is using Mother Nature's own gene delivery system, which is a virus. That's what a virus is. You can re-engineer a virus so that it will still infect a cell and put in a gene that you have put into the virus, and that gene will then become part of the host cell gene system, and it will start making whatever it was you wanted to make. And that turns out, and conceptually, it's pretty straightforward. But in actuality, to get just the cells you want, and have the virus actually attach to those cells, deliver the gene that you want, have the gene work, have the virus not kill the cell, have the virus not go off in some other direction and do the same thing to other cells that you might not want done with that. And there's a lot of biological engineering that goes into this, and that's the chess game. Because the cells don't necessarily want their basic machinery messed with, even though what they're turning out is not what you want, but they still don't want somebody, rearranging the furniture in their house. And even if the furniture needs to be rearranged, but they don't want somebody else doing it. And so that you have to figure out a way to defeat those defense mechanisms. And so this is the chess game that you play every day with Mother Nature. And that gets me out of bed in the morning.